Otherwise, what you're going to have is, you'll have a nice piece of meat certainly, but it's going to be tough, chewy, etc., etc. One of the things that you're looking for in relation to a nice shoulder is you're looking for the skin, as you can see here, okay, is basically, it's not white, but it's sort of a creamy type of a colour, alright? So you've got a nice colouring here on the skin. The other thing to look for as well is you can see here that even though the flesh is obviously red, it's not bright pink. Now, any piece of meat, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's steak, whether it's lamb, if you see that the meat itself is really, really bright red, okay, that means that it's actually not hung long enough, okay? You're looking for a piece of flesh that's basically somewhat discolored, in other words, that the actual flesh color has gone darker than what it previously was. So it's not a bright pink color, but more of a pale, darkish red, okay? Now, what we're going to do with this shoulder of lamb, first thing is we're going to seal it off in the pan, okay? We want to basically seal off the entire outside of the lamb. Then we're going to use some fresh rosemary here. We're going to use some carrots, some onions, some carrots, some celery, some garlic, okay? Obviously we're going to season it as well. And we're going to put it into, we're classically roasting, but we're also going to be somewhat poaching this lamb, steaming this lamb as well, sorry. What we're going to be doing is we're also going to be putting some nice red wine. And when I say nice red wine, I mean, you don't want just plunk, okay? Get a reasonably okay wine. This here is a Beaujolais that I'm going to use, and it works very, very well with the lamb. So we're going to be half roasting, half steaming the lamb, and the celery, the carrots and the onions are basically going to be going in as well as the rosemary, as well as a small amount of fresh thyme. Now all of this again is obviously to help flavour the lamb, but it is also going to make the most amazing gravy as well, okay? So I'll go from step by step showing you exactly what I'm talking about, putting this dish together. It's going to take around about 2.5 hours at around about 180 degrees centigrade in the oven. Now, it's easy, it's straightforward, there's nothing complicated about it, and trust me when I tell you this, the end result is absolutely spectacular. Okay, let's start off. Peeling off this lamb now, the same as every other time that we're going to seal off any other piece of meat. We want the pan hot. Now when I say hot, I mean smoking hot, okay? The reason being is because that as soon as that flesh hits the pan, it needs to seal immediately, okay? Straight away, seal, lock in all flavors, lock in all moistures, etc., okay? So I'm going to use a little bit of rapeseed oil here just to begin off seasoning. Don't put the meat in straight away, let the oil catch up with the pan heat, alright? So that oil is just coming up okay there now. Alright, so first thing in, we're going to put the meat down, flesh side down. Press the meat down, keep it down, make sure that you actually get completely sealed before you actually turn the meat over. And one of the big mistakes that people do is when they're actually putting something in the pan is they shake the pan a lot and what have you. That actually breaks the seal that's beginning to happen on the flesh, right, where the flesh is beginning to caramelise. So just put the meat in immediately. Okay, it's going to spit up a little bit, okay, but hey, such is life. Now, we're not going to spend too long with this. We're just going to turn the meat, seal it, take it off, get it ready to go into the roasting tray, and we'll go on to the next step after that. Now, I'm not even seasoning the meat at this stage. The reason is because we want to season the meat before it actually goes into the oven, alright? As I said, this is just a straightforward sealing stage, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, now as you can see there, we've got a nice golden colour on that. That's exactly what we want, alright? So I'm going to turn it over, do the same on the other side. And there's no point in me letting you see this happen, but you get exactly the idea of what we're trying to achieve here, okay? We want to get a nice golden colour on the far side as well. So I'll take you to the next stage and come back to you shortly. Down there, the lamb is still sealing. So while the lamb is getting sealed, we're going to start getting ahead and getting our, what we're going to call our mirepoix of veg, okay? Basically what this is, it's a rough veg chop That's just going to go in as a trivet underneath the lamb. It's going to keep the lamb up off the actual roasting tray so the flesh doesn't get scorched and burned, etc. But it's also going to help flavour the sauces that we're going to make, okay? So, first things first, I'm going to start off with the, when I say rough, I do mean rough, okay? Start off with the garlic, pull the garlic, press it down, take the excess skin off. Now I'm not even going to take the skin off these, I'm just going to leave them as is. Okay, so nothing fancy or nothing spectacularly amazing going on here with this one. Now I think, let me see, that's enough. Maybe one more. Okay, that's enough. Now, next step, onion, again, straight down, rough chop, nothing spectacular about that. Down here. Carrots, same thing, just cut them at a slice at an angle, nothing spectacular there either. Again, as I said, rough, chunky. Celery, same thing. Nothing OTT about that, alright. Now we're just going to get our roasting tray here, we're just going to in like so. Now, as I said, when I say chunky and rough, that's what I mean, okay? Now, I'm not even going to be honest with you, I've got some fresh rosemary and some fresh thyme here. Thyme, all I'm going to do is just basically pull off the actual, the leaves, straightforward like that, just throw them in like that. I'm just going to throw that in. The rosemary, just going to chop that. Again, straight in, nothing spectacular about that, right? Now, next step is that the lamb is actually ready to go, okay? So before we actually put the lamb in onto that, I want to rub it with a little bit of chopped rosemary, so I'll bring you back when I've got that ready. Fresh rosemary leaves. Now all I'm going to do, as you can see here, I've just pulled them off. You want to keep out the little bit of, the actual stem of the rosemary. That's woody, you don't want that. What you actually want is the leaf itself, okay? So as you can see here, I've just pulled off some leaves, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop these leaves. Again, nothing too spectacular about this. See, when you've got a nice piece of meat, you want to make sure that you try and use good quality ingredients to go with it. And when I say good quality ingredients, I'm talking about fresh, alright? You don't want packet, you don't want, instant sauce, whatever. You want fresh ingredients to go with a quality piece of meat, because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is the meat itself, even though the meat is super, it's going to let you down. The reason being is because you used inferior product to go along with that, okay? So next step is get this onto the lamb, and then lamb onto tray and into the oven. Here we go. Lamb is ready to go with the rosemary. So what I've done here is I've just spread the rosemary out, okay? Now the reason I'm showing you this is because the lamb will still have some oil on it, okay, from when we sealed it up. So here is our sealed piece of meat, okay, as you can see, it turned out very, very nice. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to press this down onto the rosemary, alright, and I'm going to roll it like so, alright. You can see the rosemary starting to stick. Turn it over, same again. Now, that's picked up most of that rosemary. Now, what we're going to do with this now is we're just going to get it ready to go into the tray. So here's the tray, here's the lamb, as you can see, ready to go. I'll just pull you back a little bit so you can see it. Now, lamb is ready to go. Just push in the veg underneath like that. Get the rosemary underneath it as well, garlic underneath it, all of that, okay? So there we have our trivet, alright? And again, the next thing to go into this obviously is the red wine. So, get the wine open. Into the tray, not over the lamb. Reason is because you put that over the lamb, pour it over the lamb, you're just going to rub off the rosemary that you've just put on it, alright? So now we're going to seal this up, and we're going to make, as I said, a, very, very tight lid to go onto this tray. And as I said, it's going to partially roast, it's going to partially steam, alright? But so we're on to the next step with this, is just getting the tin foil onto it. So next step coming now. This lamb is ready to be covered now with the tin foil. Before we do that, we're going to season the lamb up, okay? So I've got a salt and pepper mix here that I've done. Don't forget, as I said before on previous occasions, alright? It's always 2 salt to 1 pepper, alright? So that looks about right to me. Okay, now some tin foil. Okay, now 2 sides, obviously, 1 pale, 1 shiny. Always shiny side down, okay? So cover it.